Guy 1 who makes 200K but he struggles with infidelity and will have 1 to 2 affairs during your life together, or 2, guy who makes 40K and is loyal. Bro, that's 1 to 2 affairs for 200K? That's a huge difference. The 200K has gotta be the winner there, right? 200K versus 40? For 1 to 2 affairs?
Or guy number 2 who makes 40K and is loyal.
I'll do guy number 2.
That's cap. We're capping hard here.
Number 1.
Yeah.
Sounds so bad.
The 40K and is loyal, obviously. Well, for me, obviously.
Ooh, that's an easy one. I guess I'll say the guy number 2 because I couldn't deal with infidelity no matter how much money you make.
Loyal. I would choose $40,000 and loyal.
Okay.
Yes.
Loyalty and
Stop the cap.
Okay.
Definitely the guy who makes 40K and is loyal. Loyalty is super important, and
I could believe if a woman was like the difference between like 80K and 40K and was like super loyal. I could definitely see 40K. I don't know if these people work or if they don't know the difference of money, but 200K versus 40K. Stop. Hold on. Another stop the cap. 200K is not that insane in the United States. Dog, $15,000 a month in income, $10,000 a month in post-tax income in California even. That would be a high tax bracket. Bro. Destiny, you're not monogamous, bro. It's not about being monogamous. That's a huge difference in money, my fam. My fam, there's a huge difference.
40K is not that bad, so.
Next one here is guy number 1 who is 50 pounds overweight and makes 120K. Or guy number 2 who is fit, nice arms, 6-pack, great endurance, and makes 35K.
Ooh. The problem I'm having is that like I'm reading so much more into this than just what's on the prompt. Because like, let's say that like guy number 1 is like a funny, charismatic dude. He's confident, he's chill, but he's 50 pounds overweight. Then for sure number 1, right? And let's say guy number 2 is like a douchebag. He works out, but he's like a I don't know what job makes 35K. He's doing like some service job. He's like an asshole, but like he looks nice. Oh, whatever. But like, what if guy number 1 is like a timid, introverted, like fat tech worker, and guy number 2 is like he does like a lower trade or whatever, but he's fit, he's fun, he's like cool. I feel like there's like so much more that you can read into either of these. I guess the way that you're supposed to read it is supposed to be like if all else is equal, right? If all else is equal. If all else is equal, I feel like number 1, again, the money differences are so huge. 120K to 35K, Jesus. Destiny, LOL, didn't your relationships fail because of this, but you make even more money? Wait, what?
Oh my God. Oh, Jesus Christ. Guy number 1.
I'll take the first guy.
Yeah, 35K, that's like McDonald's. So I'll go with number 1.
35K is McDonald's? Wait, how much are they paying at McDonald's these days? If you're making 15 an hour, 40 hours a week, you're not getting scheduled that, times 52 weeks a year. Is anybody making 30K a year off of McDonald's? Are you really doing that? That sounds really high to me. Yo, real talk. Hold on. Also, real quick. Now I don't know if this is true anymore. But this used to be, I remember I watched Shkreli do this, and I could instantly tell that he'd never worked like service before. And I want to be clear, maybe things have changed, okay? But whenever people would say like, oh, like, let's see how much you would make working at Starbucks or Burger King, the easiest way to tell that they never worked those jobs before is because they go, okay, well, your hourly wage is $9 an hour times, we'll say 40 hours a week. And it's like, motherfucker, where are you working that they'll ever schedule you more than 20 hours a week at any of the service jobs? There's a reason why people work 2 or 3 jobs. And a lot of people, like a lot of like white, progressive, like upper class people like cry like, oh, she has 3 jobs, blah, 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 blah. It's not like you have 3 jobs and you're working 120 hours a week. It's that you have 3 jobs and one job will schedule you to work like 6 to 10 on a Thursday, and then like 9 a.m. to noon on Saturday. That's one job, okay? They schedule you 7 hours a week, some weeks. And then like the other job will schedule you like Monday through Thursday, and you'll be working like 2 to 8, and it's like, okay, 6-hour shifts, kind of dog shit because a 6-hour shift is bullshit, but okay, whatever. And then maybe you'll work like some mornings, like 8 to noon at some other, right? That's like your part-time bullshit ass work. You're never getting scheduled 40 hours a week anywhere you go. That's like the dream. Or 32, higher than 32, I think most places will start paying full-time. I don't know if that's changed. Maybe they've like changed the way that works now, but I always remember that was like the shitty thing of working service before, is that like nobody would schedule you for like more than 30 hours a week. You would always get fucked that way. But maybe that's changed now. I don't know. Was it like that at the casino for you? No, my casino job was a real job. Thank God. I got scheduled. I was working 60 plus hours a week at the casino. That's why I ended up quitting school. Something like Aldi guarantees 30 minimum. If you're part-time, you're fucked. The Wild West, yeah. But that was back in the day. That was back in the day when I'm talking part-time work. Nobody would hire. There's no such thing as like a full-time McDonald's employee, unless you're like a supervisor or manager. But like front of house, well, I guess McDonald's, you're all front of house. What would they call them at McDonald's? Just like whatever your cashiers and your cooks, like those people are all part-time. Nobody would get hired as a full-time worker there. But again, maybe that's changed. Maybe that's changed. One week I worked more than 40 hours and they kicked me out of my shift because I was getting overtime. Oh, if you're getting overtime on a service job, your supervisor's going to get his ass chewed out. That should never be happening, right? Yeah. They will kick you off of that clock so fast if they think you're reaching. But usually you never even get scheduled close to 40 hours, so you wouldn't have to worry about it. That just in my personal experience. Let me qualify that again, because I already know some fucking retard is like, evidence that Dusty hasn't worked in a long time. In my neighborhood, every single McDonald's and Burger King actually schedules you for 38 hours and blah, blah, blah. Okay, this is just my limited experience fucking 20 years ago, okay? Maybe things have changed, all right?
The fit one.
Okay.
I make enough money to support us both.
Gee, damn! Look at this girl. And you make enough money to support it. That's like the danger hair. A little bit. I think this is like red flag hair. I f with it, but I know she's gonna probably try to poison me.
Fit one.
Okay.
And she has a lot of makeup on. Girls, you don't need that much. You'll be okay, all right?
I make enough money to support us both.
Okay.
I'll say guy number one. We can go to the gym together and work it out.
What if he didn't want to lose any weight? Would you still choose that one?
I guess so, yeah.
Okay.
That's like hard because like I don't really value money or like, well, I guess I value health. So like, I mean, if he's overweight, he can always change himself. I guess I would say the fit guy.
Okay.
Because I care about health, like physical health, because I think it.
Yeah, the problem is that like between fit and fat, even if you say all else equal, it implies a lot more about the people, right? Like a fit guy sounds like he would just be more fun to go out and do things with, and he'd be like a better, happier person. Like it just seems like it'd be better in every way to be around like that. I know it's saying all else equal, but it's hard to feel that in your mind, I think.
It's just like your well-being.
Yeah, I guess that one.
I think being fit is important. So I want a guy who takes care of his health. 50 pounds overweight is really not that bad.
It's so
especially
American.
if, like,
It's so American.
I have a more active
Fuck me.
lifestyle, so I wouldn't mind helping him be more active. 50 pounds not that bad, so probably the 50 pounds overweight
50
guy.
pounds. What if he didn't change though? What if he stayed 50 pounds overweight? And he
I don't
couldn't
mind.
change?
I don't mind a little.
Okay. A little bigger guy.
Yeah.
All right. Guy number one who is a 3 and has a boat and a second home that's an oceanfront condo. Or guy number 2 who is an 8 but lives at home with his parents.
Damn, what are the ages here? Guy who is a 3? That sounds hideous.
Probably the first one.
Okay.
Just because he's doing better in his life.
Okay.
I'm not really one for appearances. Like I care about physical health, but like
A 3 though? A 3?
other than just like being like healthy. I mean, you don't have to be like super like fit or attractive, just as long as like you're taking care of yourself. But he's obviously taking care of himself in other areas of his life. So.
Oh, that's a good one. Probably the 8 who lives at home with his parents, especially in times like these. If he's saving his money.
Who was some guy in viewer call-ins like a day ago said that he had a tip for people in chat that if you live at home with your parents, He said that all you have to do is tell girls like, oh yeah, I moved back in because of COVID or some shit, and apparently that excuse works with chicks.